Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Whitney Ward. Just within the last hour, Moscow police have released the first potentially significant information regarding evidence connected in this case. KREM 2's Mark Hanrahan joining us live here in the studio with new information tonight. Mark?
Whitney, let's get right to it. Take a look at these photos behind me right here. Moscow PD saying today they're now looking for a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Police say tips and leads led investigators to look at additional information about the car being in the immediate area of King Street, where the murders happened during the early morning hours of November 13th. So take a closer look. Now, to be clear, this isn't the actual car police are looking for. Rather, these are stock images of the same make and model of the car they are looking for. Again, it's a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Police say the license plate is not known right now. But still, this is a significant step in the investigation, as investigators have yet to release any information about a suspect or suspects, and this is potentially the first significant piece of evidence they've released publicly so far in their effort to solve this case. Again, investigators say tips led them to seek more information about a car similar to that Hyundai right there in the immediate area of the home where the murders happened in the early morning hours that day the victims were found dead. So if you have any information about the car, you are urged to contact the Moscow Police tip line, the number 208-883-7180. You can also send an email to that address right there on your screen. Whitney?
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And earlier today, police began removing some of the victims' personal belongings from that crime scene in Moscow. Police said the families have been asking for some of those items back. Investigators say those things are no longer needed for their investigation. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley was at the house today and spoke to law enforcement about the next steps in this investigation.
At the request of the students' families, Moscow police packed up personal belongings at the home. In fact, Chief James Fry said it was important for him to personally be here with the officers, boxing up those items so they could, in a sense, be there for the family and give back those items that might help the family heal. The chief himself drove the U-Haul into the driveway. Police officers arrived early this morning to pack up the students' things, and by noon today, they finished loading the boxes onto the truck. This is not something police typically do, but Idaho State Police spokesperson Aaron Snell says in this case, it was appropriate.
We've had the crime scene for quite some time, and the family would like back some of those belongings. There's undoubtedly some sentimental issues, and I think it will help with a little bit of the healing, and we want to be part of that process. We want to help them. We don't want to keep holding on to items that really aren't needed for the investigation.
There was no sign of the students' immediate family members here today, but we do know the U-Haul has been taken to a secure location where Moscow police will communicate with the family to coordinate returning those items to them. Reporting in Moscow, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
And Moscow is still mourning the loss of those 4 college students. This year's Light Up the Season events have now been dedicated to Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Tomorrow, the community will come together to decorate a Christmas tree in honor of those 4 victims. People will be able to come by tomorrow to write kind thoughts or messages on bows that will then be placed on the tree. That event takes place from 3 to 5 in the afternoon at the Visit Moscow Contemporary Building. And for all of our latest reporting about these murders and the Moscow Police Department's current investigation, you can always go to KREM.com. In other news, new at 4 tonight, the man in yesterday's Riverfront Park shooting had his first court appearance today. It was about 7:45 yesterday morning. Police say a man fired dozens of shots into the air. It was right there along Spokane Falls Boulevard across from Riverfront Park. No one was hurt, fortunately. The suspect, 45-year-old Benjamin Crowfoot, is now facing multiple charges, including first-degree assault and 28 counts of reckless endangerment. Witnesses say Crowfoot shot a full magazine into the air, then reloaded and fired some more. Police say they spotted him walking in the middle of the street in traffic before they arrested him. We're also told the suspect has a history of mental illness. He's now being held on a $100,000 bond. His next court appearance is scheduled for December 20th. Well, new tonight, eastbound I-90 just reopening this afternoon within the last hour after a serious 30-car pileup. It shut down the entire freeway near Ellensburg today for hours. Washington State Patrol says there were 18 vehicles and 12 semis involved in this crash. The wreckage itself spanned 10 miles of roadway. Fortunately and amazingly, only minor injuries were reported in all of it, but quite a mess was left behind. It's not clear exactly what sparked the crash in the beginning, but the National Weather Service says there was patchy freezing fog and icy conditions at that hour. The road itself, the freeway, was closed for 10 hours. And more of a storm headed our way for a fresh round of snow. That's coming about 24 hours from now, maybe a little sooner. Our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo, has been keeping us updated on just what to expect for tomorrow. Hi, Jeremy.
Hey, Whitney. I was actually just updating an article on KREM.com if you want to go over and get a closer look at some of our totals or storm totals from our incoming storm. And there is a lot at play here. Let's start with temperatures. Right now, we're quite a bit warmer than we've been the past couple days, despite still being in the 20s. We are now in the upper 20s. It does start to feel a little warmer after all those cold days, but that sets the stage for our incoming storm. Winter weather advisories now in effect for eastern and northeastern Washington and much of North Idaho. Kind of the same place that we've set up that freezing drizzle the past couple of nights. What we are going to see is widespread impacts as this system moves in. There's the storm off the coast right now. As it works its way toward us, we wind up getting the cold front of this thing. You can see our cold front right here, and that's what sweeps the region, giving us some of that snow. Timing it out, here's how it plays out. Tomorrow morning, we see a little bit of activity out ahead of the storm itself, kind of late morning, middle of the day. It grows more widespread into the afternoon, heavier overnight, and then moves out by the time we start the day Friday. Notice by 7 a.m., we're back to a couple of stray showers on the backside of this thing. By Friday afternoon, we might even see a little bit of sunshine. Seriously, that's the way it works. Let's talk totals. When it comes to storm totals here in Spokane, 3 to 4 inches. 3 to 4 in Coeur d'Alene and St. Mary's. If you head up in elevation, you're easily getting more snow. That's one of these type of storms. When it comes to more, maybe 8 inches in some spots, most places 6, and we're talking Mountain Peaks to even get that.
All right, Jeremy, thank you very much. Tensions continue to build after the Spokane County Sheriff's Office started handing out these flyers yesterday to people living at the homeless camp near I-90 and Freya. Those flyers announced the camp will be closed and provided information about homeless services around Spokane. However, the flyer itself does not give a date of when the camp is expected to be shut down. Both the Washington Department of Transportation and camp management say the city and the county did not give a warning for handing out those flyers. They say it felt like a sharp step in the back in negotiations for trying to clear that camp. Now, local law enforcement paid campers another visit to that homeless camp near I-90. KREM 2's Janelle Finch is joining us live right now from that camp to tell us more about the message officers had for those who are staying there. Janelle?
Service providers here at the camp are disappointed in how city and county law enforcement are distributing this information. They say officials want to intimidate campers more than they want to help them. Leaders say campers already have the information in these flyers, and bringing people in uniform just adds to the performance of intimidation. Earlier today, Jules Helping Hands, the Washington State Department of Transportation, and Empire Health representatives waited for law enforcement to arrive. While yesterday's visit was more of a surprise to campers, today agencies were prepared. Officers came in with updated flyers saying the camp would be closing soon and to prepare next steps. But owner of the land, WashDOT, says it's not buying what the city and county are selling.
It's just extremely disappointing. I mean, all this is doing is riling up people at the camp. We're making significant progress, but they continue to show up and put pressure, cause people to get upset, and it's not being helpful.
Spokane police told KREM 2 officers would continue to be a presence at the camp until it was gone. Julie Humphreys says campers can expect more flyers with resources. I spoke to Compassionate Addiction Treatment today about the flyers. They're one of the resources listed. One of the co-founders say giving a piece of paper with resources isn't an effective way to help those in need, and groundwork is being done to get people out of the camp. Again, these flyers don't say when the camp is closing, and we've asked the Spokane County Sheriff's Office multiple times for more information on their timeline and have yet to receive a response. Live in Spokane, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.